Before the world sees your wins, your soul has to feel your work. It's the reps nobody applauds that produce the wins that do, all through a shifting of your identity into a dominator. This is all done in the dark every single day. So let me be your guide as I welcome you to this episode of the Dark Work Daily.
Hey, every Monday, I am getting the studio set up. We're doing our live training this week for Speak to Freedom called the Book Solid Challenge. And I'm now traveling from one home to my other home to the studio to do what it is I do. But that's not the conversation today. Today has to do with this use of AI. We all know AI is something's going to be here. There's a way that I think people are using it that is incorrect and should be better. And I think actually tied to the way that you as a human being are operating your life, we'll call it. See, we live in this world where we have now the biggest, most crazy change since the internet. It's either already here or it's on the cusp of the wave just crashing into our world, which is the fact that a lot of people outsource everything to AI. They outsource thinking, processing, creation, decision-making, emails, like everything. In fact, like they're trying to train it to be you. The crazy part, though, is I don't think that it should be you. It's really about the sense of like we operate in my world's about identity and who you are, who you are not, what you are doing, what you're not doing. And all these things play a big role. And what happens is people are trying to outsource everything. They want to outsource anything that's difficult. They want to outsource anything that's hard. And yes, I've talked in the past about the outsourcing of AI being a thing where, it just makes it easier. And then what happens is, there's going to be this outsource that diminishes a sense of who you are. But I think there's another piece that's missing. It's not just losing pride because AI is developing things and doing the hard work for you. I think one of the bigger things is you actually outsource your identity. You outsource who you are to the world. You outsource the sense of your humanity. And even more than that, you rob yourself of the ability to create and process at a level that makes you a dangerous human. Like my humanity and what makes me me is not what I've gone through, but it's what I've processed from what I've gone through, what I've navigated from what I've gone through, what I have learned from what I've gone through, the wisdom that's garnered from those situations. And when you outsource that to some entity that is not you, what happens is you don't really get a chance to process and think through and understand and really navigate who you are. I think you truly rob yourself of the ability to develop the identity that makes you you, to makes you special, and makes you engaging to the world. And you may not think it's a big deal. You may go like, no, it's crazy. But think about, there is a level of a person that I would call a submitter, that what they do is they submit to the will of the world, and they just do what everybody else is doing. They go, I'm going to do this thing as the world's doing it, so I'm going to be that person that does these same things. And they don't realize on the backside that when you run that track to the very, very end, that at some point in time, that track ends at a place where you are less of you than more of you. Think about that. I think you're less of you than more of you when you've used this whole track of AI to run down the gamut of like making everything for you and by you and your brain. It's never going to be you. And what happens when you let that tool develop that process and you don't go through the things you've navigated, you lose the beautiful nectar that is your humanity. And I don't want people to lose that, because that's what makes me love humans and hate humans and engage with them and all that. I mean, imagine if you went through something, you said, hey, AI, I went through this. Can you unpack what this means? Now what it's going to do is give you some culmination of random ideas. And AI isn't even honest all the time. It lies. It's crazy. It's been proven. So now what happens is you let AI process that, and it comes back and goes, oh, yeah, that is what that means. And now you get this new idea that wasn't even your idea, not born of anything you understand or navigate or your subconscious. So now it's just this loose other thought you have to hold on to, as opposed to when you sit and process with it, really think through what it is. You have to figure out that this is a different piece of life that you've navigated. There's some value and connective tissue to other things in your life. And so you can have wisdom to pass on to your kids, or wisdom to pass on to friends and families into the world if you do it in the manner that I do it. Because I don't think that AI has the ability to create wisdom, but it can rob you of the ability of yours wisdom. Like it won't, wisdom is this. I think wisdom is intelligence interconnected through experience. I have information, I do something with it, I take action on it, and now I start to grasp the connective tissue between this situation and other situations in ways that allow me to have this lesson I can pass on. I believe wisdom is the experience that you have to go through to do things with what you know to create a connective tissue to understand it differently. And so with that mentality, if you outsource it to AI and you submit to it, right, just submit to the world and the AI, now you have robbed yourself of one, that ability, and two, that wisdom. What are you going to pass on? What do you learn? What do you take away? What do you reapply somewhere? And also this, when you don't have the wisdom of understanding and knowledge and knowing, you are less likely, in my opinion, to pursue big things, to chase something that doesn't make sense because it doesn't make sense. Whereas when you've done something that may not logically make sense, but at a heart level, you go, I don't know, it just feels right. Well, yeah, it's going to feel right because you understand that there's something subconscious going on that has a connective piece that makes you feel like something's a possibility that never was. That doesn't happen in an accident. It happens when you choose, in some manner, to actually lean in and do the things you're supposed to do. And I say supposed to do, which is live and be you. I think if you were to go back in time and look at the society that used to be before AI, even before the internet, the way that these people, we would function, like they would kill us in a battle of wits and processing because they used to just sit there and think all day. You might think, oh, we have more information about, yeah, we may have more information, but we're not talking about a battle of information, we're talking about a battle of wits and mentality and operational processing in real time. These people used to think a lot. Our society as humans used to think a lot. Now we outsource thinking to other places, and thinking becomes something we have to schedule, something we have to actually, spend time focusing on doing it. And we're trying to think in a computer and then get the idea without thinking. And then you're killing the brain, and you're atrophying the brain processing piece. So my thought to you is this: stop leaning on AI to be a thing that creates your identity, and start using AI to help bolster your identity, because you are the one paying attention to what you're doing, what you're building, and who you are. If you can do this, I promise you, you're going to see yourself separate from so many other people that don't think this way, operate this way, or do this. They submit to the world, where you, my friend, can dominate it.
If this episode stirred something in you, good. That means there's work to be done. Don't ignore it, because listening is just the beginning. Because real change happens when you engage and you commit. So I invite you to join the Dark Work community inside the Dark Work app, which is where you communicate with amazing people on the same journey as you. You can find them on the App Store and the Google Play Store right now. Step into the conversations that sharpen your habits, strengthen your identity, and keep you locked in to the Dark Work.